Welcome back to Rotten Rust Garage. Hope you all have had a great week. And today I got about 2 or 3 hours so I can start tearing this thing off of here. And well, mistakes were made. If you watched the last video, when I yanked the engine out, 2 little bolts that I should have pulled while the engine was not in this cradle. And those would be the ones on the front of this dust cover to the bottom of the dust cover. 2 of them right there in the front, and that's right where the wood on this thing is, and I can't get to them. So today I'm just going to tear this all off of here, start cleaning all these parts. And I thought this was going to be easy, but now I got to get the engine hoist back out and lift the engine up. So good times, might as well go ahead and get started. Let's do it. This time I got the chain a little further back. A little tight in here. A little tight. Yeah, lifting the whole engine. Oh well. Maybe enough for me to get in there. Not quite yet. Alright, that should be it. Show you the bolts in question. Kind of dark in all this grease, but there you go. You can see this little guy right here. And one on the other side. And I just gotta knock those off. Then this plate will come free. Then the bottom dust cover will come free. Then the bell housing can come off. Super easy. I think I even said when I was taking this engine out that I needed to pull this cover off the front. I just didn't do it. Got busy, got in a hurry, whatever, not paying attention. Boy, this is greasy. Big greasy. Woo! Nothing but good times here. Still 2 more. That means the oil filter's gotta come off. Alright, I did find another one over here. 1/2 inch. I've never seen one like this, but I'm gonna mess with this kind of trans. Come on, baby. Golly. That thing was smoked on there with all the torque. Alright, that's done. Wow, look at the buildup of grease on this thing. Oil draining down, no doubt, rear main oil, seal. What a mess. Oily on the inside. Clean this joker up. Put it in my cleaning pile, because there's going to be a lot of that. Alright, now I know this oil filter's got to come out, so let me get an oil filter wrench. Going to make a mess here. Still full of fresh oil that I changed. And there's the glitter. Cool. Alright, now we can start getting these other bolts off out of the way. Probably can go ahead and set this engine back down now. Make things a little more stable. So there's 2 bolts on the back side of the engine flange to the trans bell housing. They go this way, and then the rest go obviously that way. Bolts are too loose for the ratchet to ratchet and too tight for me to get out of there by my hand. Gotta love it. Common theme on this engine. Now, I'm not going to tear this engine down anytime soon because I don't need the engine for anything. But in the future, I will tear it down just for grins, see what the damage is, and we can make some predictions on which bearings were bad. I'm going to go with cam. Wipe the cam bearings, probably a couple bad lifters. Could in fact be, I did hear some knock, so could be a couple of crank bearings gone too. This thing's tired. It's obviously seen better days, so we're just going to swap it out with a good 360. That'd be an upgrade. So now, just a matter of getting the rest of these bolts out. Get an extension. The front ones are 5/8, and the back ones are 9/16. can also see on the back of the heads where almost looks like the head gasket is leaked on the back of the engine. Definitely the valve cover's leaked everywhere. That's not a surprise. I've got 4 1/2-inch bolts to take out of this bottom inspection cover. So let me get that going. Oh yeah, that's why I've got it on a engine hoist. Goodness. Smoked on there. Unnecessarily. A clean engine's a happy engine. Oof. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Now this silly thing can come off of here. We're going to first look at the clutch. Well, what's holding you up, feller? Is it just those pins? There we go. Finally, that was kind of dumb. All right, let me clean my hands up. I'll pick the camera up. We'll take a look at this thing. Woo! She's a warm one today. A little sweaty in here. All right. Looks like there's still material on the clutch, but we're gonna go ahead and pop this off of here and see what we're dealing with. I think I might get my impact. That'd be quickest. Be right back. There we go. It sat for a while. It would have chattered on the pressure plate. How's this clutch look? Oh yeah, bad. She gone. Yeah. Oh, hey, oh. Yep. That clutch. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say she's seen better days. Yeah. All right, gotta get another one. Woo. You know, it rusted to the flywheel a little bit sitting, but actually the flywheel's okay. Just the clutch was spent. So 360 flywheel should be different than this one. I'll compare, but yeah. Yep. All right, so we got the clutch off. We know it's bad. Got to order a new one. Now what I need to do is clean up my mess here and get these greasy pieces out to the parts washer out there and start going at them. Get these things back to shiny. Get this thing out of the way. I'll need some bits off of it maybe. The valve covers are in really good condition. Yeah, we'll see. Clean up some mess and I'll be back with you in a little bit. All right, there's the first pass of cleaning on this thing, and most of the paint came off with the grease. Just even a little scrapey scrape before I even put any kind of parts cleaner on it. But yeah, not bad. It came pretty shiny. It's like Inspector 317 or something like that. Who knows? Pretty cool. But yeah, okay, that part's done. Other parts are soaking. You can hear the parts washer in the background doing bolts, and already got these bolts sent through, and now I'm going to go out to the truck and all over all the grease up under the hood there. All right, this stuff's been soaking for a little while, and I don't feel like dragging out the pressure washer today because I don't have a whole lot more time. I also don't feel like climbing in here and scrubbing on any of this, so I'm just going to hit it with the garden hose. Oh, One thing I'm going to do for sure is pull this out and paint it. That's gonna have to just about do it for video for today. Don't go away. I'll finish this video next weekend. Right now it's Sunday afternoon, a little late. I gotta get dinner started here very shortly. And I got my hands clean. But let me show you where I'm at right now. So spent the last couple hours getting hardware all cleaned up, obviously. U-joint, straps, this is the transmission bolts, missing one washer when I took it apart. Got all these jokers clean. Came out pretty nice. Still see some blue paint. Got my clutch fork cleaned up. All of that stuff's looking good. All the hardware. So, bang. I'm missing one of these on Frankenstein. So what I think I'm going to do is, while I got this piece sitting here, I'm going to trace it onto another piece of metal. I can put a bead in that piece of metal, but I don't know that I can flange all that like that. But at least I'll have something to put on Frank. It'll be close enough, but this is a perfect template, so I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity. Now, the next thing I need to do, and I might do this right now, and I won't film it because there'll be some choice words, but get this pig through here and over that way, out of the way, so that I can get that pig through there, which means I got to move this truck axle, 8 3/4 truck axle, 2-wheel drive obviously, but it's got some issues. So I just wanted the center section in the axle shafts. The tube is kind of junk. Actually, the tube's okay. No, the tube is junk. Sorry, it's rotted real bad right there. Can't see that probably. Yeah, that tube's real thin right there. The tube is junk. But everything else is good. The brakes, I just got to move it out of the way. Yeah, you guessed it. That thing is just as heavy as an engine. See if I can slide this girl out. You can see we got a couple crankshafts back in there. Some stuff to get out of the way. Typical, small garage, jam things everywhere kind of shop here. So I'll throw the door open and, kind of skirt out into the driveway there that immediately starts to slope. Obviously, I got to move all of this garbage. So again, not going to film that. It'll be a clown show because I'm involved. Yep. And then I'll be back at it next weekend. Hopefully, I won't have to work next Saturday like I did yesterday. I love my job. All right, talk to you soon. Yeah, I kept forgetting to show you the freeze plug situation on this thing. Nice. Yeah, that one too. All right, well, it's the next weekend now, and I got a little more time today, and it's going to be a busy day. A lot to do, so I'm going to dive right in, show you what I got going on here. All right. The engine I'm going to throw in there. Got some things to do. First of all, vacuum it all off. Get all the crap off of it. Got to do some scraping. Get some of this grease off the side. And looks like the valve cover leaked, which is predictable. Get it cleaned up a little bit. Don't know how I'm quite going to do that yet. Sitting on this stand is not going to be conducive to that. But some other things. I'm going to get this goofy van dipstick off of here. Don't know if this came out of a van, but it sure looks like it to me. It's a 91. I looked on the side. And so I'm going to swap this with the 318 dipstick to where it looks more like it should. And eventually, once it's all clean, I'll pull these valve covers off, put the other ones on that don't have the center hump, the later model style valve covers, the ones from the 318. I think they look better. I'm going to clean this up as best I can, spritz some paint on it, and go from there. Got to clean up in the back a little bit. Might have I don't think it's got a real bad main seal leak, but there's definitely some grime back here. So all I'm going to do is just clean it up best I can. And I don't know if I want to wheel it outside or not. But anyhow, also got the new clutch kit from Nappy. New water pump. I ordered a fuel pump. Obviously, we're missing one here. It's not going to show up until like June 30th. So I'm just going to snatch the other one, which looks relatively new, off of the 318. That engine's going to loan a lot of stuff here. Got all this cleaned up you saw earlier. And now I still got to clean the Z-bar. But here's where I'm at right now. I just put this up on stand so I could drain the oil out of it. It appears to be red transmission, automatic transmission fluid. This thing, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to scrub it all clean. You can see all the grime on it. Lay it on its side and pop this off and make a new gasket for the side cover here. I've got some gasket material because this thing's definitely leaked. It's real clean down here right at the bottom of this. And yeah, I don't want it leaking anymore. I don't think it leaks out of this output shaft seal. And it definitely, let's get over here. I don't think it's leaking out of the front here. That's actually pretty bone dry right there. So this gasket seems good, so I'm not going to mess with it. Clean all this up real good. And we'll go from there. And while I got this open, I'll check out what's going on inside, how the gears look. So I'm going to go ahead and get started now. Hopefully, these bolts break free on this water pump, because they're probably rusted tight. Oh boy, yep. I want to get this off of here so I can get in there to get to the dipstick area. Plus this is way too modern. I want to use the other one. Well, let's see. I guess we need to go straight to the heat wrench. Yeah, that's a long bolt all the way through, and it goes into the water jacket. And if I snap that joker off, I'm in big worlds of hurt. So, all right, let me get some heat on it. Oh, felt like it was moving, but it also felt like it was getting ready to snap. Uncool. Hey, maybe this water pump's fine. You know, bearings feel good. Dang, I just don't want to snap that off because then I got all kinds of other issues. That's a key bolt to hold this. Man, I'd really like to get that off of there. Might give it another little more heat and then try. Otherwise, this is staying on. This one's already broke free, but that one is going to be a problem. So is possibly this one, possibly that one. It's slowly going, but man, that's tight. I'm afraid. Very afraid. Please don't break. Alright, I think she's going to make it out now. Boy, that thing is tight. Still, guaranteed it's all rusted at the end. This is only one of a couple more to go. All right. Much better. Hopefully I can save this bolt too. I think this water pump is relatively new. I'm probably wasting money and time swapping it, but I want this bracket off anyway. Be a real pain for the water pump to go out right after I put the engine in. Alright, this water that came out of it is nasty. I got to get this block drained. So I broke this free on the side. It's going to get everywhere, but nothing's coming out. I wonder if it's just completely plugged up inside of the water jacket. Yeah, that's not good. There's got to be coolant in this thing still. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll be flushing this thing as soon as it's installed. Well, finally got it working out of there. Had to get a pry bar loosen out that upper bolt and spin this with the nut driver while I've worked it out, because it was just wasn't threaded anymore. It was just seized because it's quite crusty. You can see the threads there where it was really not bueno, but not seized. And the good news is, while I was letting that soak with a little bit of the blaster, I broke all these other ones free, and they came free way easier. So good to go. Water pump's going to come off. Got a new, bypass hose. I need to get a new lower. This one's kind of, I don't know, questionable maybe. So let me get the rest of this stuff off here, and then I'll start working on this dipstick. And I've already kind of scraped most of the engine, the debris off it while it's dry, because that's helpful. When it being dry, it comes off a lot easier just in chunks, instead of once you spray it all with the engine foam, then it just becomes big chunks of goo. Hard to get off. I'll probably hit it real quick with a wire brush, then do some of the foamy, wipe it all down, and good enough for paint. This engine would have come black in 1991. I think you can tell. Somebody pulled these valve covers off and painted them blue. Probably the guy I bought the truck from. This engine came out of Frankenstein, my 78 200. So yeah, I'll just keep going. That joker is rusted on there. Very bad shape. This hose is in horrible shape. Melted. Alright. It should come out of there pretty soon. I think everybody's loose and happy. How about you? Yep, you are. And I'm going to lose the power steering bracket. Don't need it where we're going. Alright. Yeah, oh god, the water pump just came right off of there. Not terrible. But I tell you what came out in the, there you go. It's actually just really, really rusty in there. I'm glad I'm changing it. Oh boy. God, that thing pulled out of there easy. Huh. Too easy. Problem is now, I got a hole in the, I gotta get the other dipstick in there quickly, because I got a hole in the engine. A couple of them. But, man, I hope the other one on the 318 comes out that easy. That was pretty trick. So, get some more of this grime off of here and move on. Alright, now it's time to go over to the other engine that I jammed in the corner this one came out of and repeat this process, except I don't need the water pump. I just need the dipstick, alternator brackets, and I'll be good. So let me do that real quick. Good news. That one came right out of there too. Pretty easy. It just it was in there a lot tighter, which is good. Had to grab it with some soft jaws here. And just give her some love taps out of there. Real gentle like, and it came right out. So, and also all the bracketry. I got all that, the alternator, everything. Fuel pump all came apart real easy because it was covered in a ½ an inch of road crud. So no rust whatsoever. Oil's good for that. So let me clean this up a little better. I'll jam this in and do a wire brushing, some brake clean, and turn this black engine blue to where it looks the part. What's interesting is I do see a little bit of blue paint right here on this timing chain cover, but the whole rest of the engine, black. Looks like it's grease, but it's not. It's literally black, so no blue under there whatsoever. Don't know if this got swapped on at some point. Maybe the timing chain got changed. I have no idea. Don't really care. It's probably going to be not a very good engine anyway. But it's better than what was in there, because I've heard it run. I've changed oil in it before. Drove the truck with it a little bit before I decided to blow the truck apart. And I put a different 360 in. So, I guess I just need to clean all this up, and I'll be back with you in a little while. Get it done. Good news is this stuff is just turning to dust. surface rust on this manifold, so yeah, man, this is gonna rock. Alright, be careful here. Aluminum. This scraper blade. Okay, cool. Got it mostly clean now. Brake clean, wiping it down. Most of the big chunks are off. Anyway, gonna fog it in a little while here. I'm like 93% there, but I'm gonna roll this thing outside to paint it here in a little while. But I just remembered something, messing with it, and I hope you can see that. But yep, that is a broken off exhaust manifold stud. I forgot that was like that on this engine. This thing's been sitting around a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and get my drill, center punch, and try and get this thing out of here. I'm going to work on that for a little while, and I'll get back with you in a bit. Oh, and before I go do that, I will tell you, I pulled this paper towel out to replace it with a cleaner one. Reached in there and touched the chain. She's a little floppy. Well, that's not true. She's a lot floppy. All right, well, some bad news here. Been drilling, and after I center punched it dead center, once the little bit started biting, it looks like it walked off a little bit, but it's enough that I can't upsize anymore without getting into the head. So kind of screwed here. I've tried my easy outs. Got a different array of them, but since it's off center, it's not really spinning it. I've tried heat, I've tried penetrant, and I'm going to let that soak for a while, keep heating it and penetrant, and all I can do is keep trying the easy outs. I can't get any bigger. Because I'll make the factory hole out of round. And if I do that, then I won't be able to helicoil it. I got to be able to center up to oversize it for a helicoil. Great, this is awful. Another option would be to, I don't want to do this, but it might be the only option since I suck at drilling out broken off studs, is take the head off, run it up to the machine shop up the road. But man, he might take 2 weeks before he gets around to it, you know? He's got the proper tools to center it up and make sure nothing walks. I do not. I've got a hand drill. Let me think on it for a little while. Meanwhile, I'm going to clean on other stuff like the trans, get stuff continued going. What a bummer. All right, well, I'm going to have to stop because I'm making it worse by trying to get that thing out of there. I've tried collapsing it on the thin side, and it's not doing it. Heat, everything. Too far in there. I mean, I could try to throw a bolt on or a nut on there and try and weld it, but I think I've got a disaster going on here. Unfortunately, I really do think I need to pull this head and take it up to Roger, and that is going to delay this extraordinarily, just like everything I touch. So I'm a little frustrated right now, so I'm going to put my tools down, step away for a minute, think on it. You know, that'll cost a lot more now. You have him just to get this hole recentered and probably have to put a key insert or something in it. And then I got to buy head gaskets. Those aren't cheap. This is just, forgot all about that broken damn exhaust stud. Should have started off with welding a nut to it. Man, I'm an idiot. Them's the brakes, I guess. So I'll be back with you in a few. Maybe I'll go ahead and start cleaning on the transmission and getting that cover off, making a new gasket. I got to keep doing stuff while I got, this is one of the few days I'm going to have in a little while. So let me clean up a little bit, this mess at least. All right, well, I'm still going to try and salvage some of today. So hopefully I won't screw more things up. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this cover off because You can see I already started cleaning on this some. Just hit it with a scraper, knocked the big chunks off, brake clean. But this whole bottom portion was really clean because all this fluid is running right out of the bottom of this gasket, so it's compromised. So this has got to come off. I believe I have it in the proper position. This to neutral, and this forward to second gear, and you can see it's in neutral. And I think that allows the shift forks to come right out. So we'll see. I've never messed with one of these. Find out together. The bolts aren't crazy tight. I don't know, these bottom ones, maybe they could have just been snugged down. Hard to say. Maybe that's all they needed. All right, let me speed this process up. Pretty bizarre that this thing had sort of like shouldered bolts, specialty. Pretty bizarre that this thing had ATF in it. Not really bizarre, I mean, but it's just different. Would have expected like 50 weight or something, which you'd see like in a transfer case or something, but I think it's actually 10W30 in the NP 435 and 445. All right, this guy's longer shoulder. You gotta remember that one. He goes back here. These are all the same size. And of course these top two have a little wiring harness. Howdy doodies on them. And in theory, this should just lift off of here. Not likely. Alright. Might take a little prying because of that gasket. No. Well, it pulled the shift forks out. Alright, so maybe this not in the correct position. Yeah, that was in the correct position. Alright, that's the back one. And looks like this one should have been further back. Ruh-roh raggy. Because there's slots right here that the fork will come out of. Right now it can't come out of there. So I got to figure out how to get that back into second. The gears all look pretty decent. Oh man, I don't know if I could salvage this gasket. Yeah, it's separated at the bottom. See that? Everywhere else it's stuck tight. Come on, baby. It's almost like plastic. I figured it'd be paper. Oh, I see. Oh. I see, said the blind man. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, it's got a... These are tensioned by this spring, and that's what I heard click, because it was in the wrong position. It needed to be right there in neutral so that it would come out. All right, well, let me figure that out, how to adjust that. There's got to be a trick, or else nobody would ever have gotten these things back together. So we're going to figure it out. All right, well, I'll be back in a minute. Let me see if I can't figure that out and get her back together after I get a new gasket made. I guess I'm going to go with paper. I don't really have a choice. That's like plastic. No, that can't be it either. Well, maybe. I don't think that's right either. Making progress, though. Starting to understand it a little bit. Okay, come on back out of there. You can see these notches in the case right here. That's where these guys gotta line up, so that's too far. How about that? Muy bueno, that's it. Assuming they're sliding down on their little guy. Alright, well at least we know how it's going to go back together now. Very painfully. There probably is a trick. Alright. Well, alright. The reason I took it apart was to get the gasket done. So let's get that taken care of first. And like I said, I think I'm going back with paper. You know, it's kind of like a plastic style gasket. It really is. That's definitely not paper. But it's gonna be. I'm going to RTV real lightly around that gasket as well. Alright, got it figured out. Got it back on there. It's just a little bit of how you slip it on there. Got them in the right position and they slide right back in. So enough of messing with that to figure out how it goes back together. Now it's time to make a new gasket. Alright, I'm on the face base, and you know what I'm going to do? Because this is going to be way faster than messing with Roger, and I've pretty much screwed the pooch on that head. Not a big deal. There's others out there, but I just reached out to a guy out in, 20 miles from here. He's got a bunch of Mopar parts, big block, small block stuff. I just reached out to him to see if he's got a set of 360 small block heads. That'd be a lot easier. Pop these off. I just ordered some Felpro gaskets. That stuff will be here next weekend. Meanwhile, I can just continue on. I got still more cleaning to do. Got the gasket set ready to go onto the transmission. I'll show you that here in a minute. Yeah, more parts to clean and stuff to get ready, and I can keep moving on with the engine. It's not a big deal. I can do a lot even with the heads possibly coming off or probably coming off. Let's go with probably coming off. If I'm going to go that far, though, task creep is what it's called, task creep. If I'm going to go that far, I think I'm going to look for a cheapo timing set, because I reached in through the fuel pump and I flippity flopped, and that thing was just floppy sloppy. So I think that engine's got a lot of miles on it. It's pretty crusty underneath the valve covers. I don't want to sink a bunch of money into this thing though, but a couple $100, that's cool. We'll still be under $2,500 in Dod E. So let me get on some of this stuff and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. All right, got it together here, and a very, very, very thin layer of RTV. And well, let's put it together the correct way, if I can figure out how that goes. So how did I do this yesterday? Okay, I think that's it. Gotta get these jokers to get in their little happy place. You're right in there. Oh, well, you're not. Ah, gasket. What a goat rodeo. I need to shut the camera off so I can actually do this. With the camera on, everything goes south. There it is. Now, of course, the gasket's all dorked. See if I can get this back into position. All right, she went in there. Now, if you remember, this long one is dialed in right there. All right, and I don't know what all this red crap is on all these, but I'm gonna assume that's some sort of factory workable Loctite. And I'm gonna do a similar thing here with a little bit of blue. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, good news is, if those forks aren't right, this ain't going down in there. Bad news is, if I have to take this back off, that RTV is going to be a lot of fun to clean without getting a mess down in the transmission. But, such is life. I need to look up the torque specs on these because I want them torqued properly because they're going to aluminum. And I don't want to send all the torque, just some of it. Just what it requires. Get my fat head out of the way. All right, let this seal up for a while. See if I can find a torque spec. This is a lot like an A833 because I watched Dead Dodge Garage do an 833 and very, very similar setup. Obviously 3 speeds, not 4, but I think this will do the trick. Well, folks, I think that's going to do it for this weekend. Run out of time. As always, weekends are way too short. Traveling all this week for work. Get back Friday night, and hopefully, when I wake up Saturday morning, I have all my presents from Amazon. Chloe's timing chain set, and some other little bits. And I got a little plan next weekend. We'll see if it works out. It depends on another fella. So anyway, I spent the day rearranging the shop and doing, some redecorating. Got this old girl up on a stand because I'm going to get busy and pull all this off, get to the timing chain, swap out the valve covers, take the heads off, take the intake manifold off. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we might be in for a little surprise for this LA small block when we pull this intake manifold off next weekend. So you'll have to stick around to see what I mean. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. If you're as frustrated as me at how slow things go, well, remember, it's a process, and it's about having fun while you're doing it. And, if you're not enjoying it, then don't do it. I do enjoy this. I like working on things. I like having a purpose. It gets me out of bed in the morning on Saturdays. And probably to no, greater effect for the world other than maybe keeping a 1976 Dodge on the road. I don't know. But I'm not in any big hurry. But I think this is going to take a couple of weeks now to get this engine back in there with my current plan. All right, it's the next weekend. I'm back from traveling. I got a lead on a couple of different sets of heads. They're all an hour plus away, and I don't have time for all that. So got a message out to a guy. Maybe tomorrow I can go and pick him up in the morning. But this other guy, really hard to deal with, man. He keeps putting me off, so I'm going to be done with that. And just, anyhow, I can keep moving forward this, and I still have a secret weapon if I need to pull it out. However, let me show you where we're at here. So I went ahead and popped off the harmonic balancer. It's in okay-ish condition. This seal has still got a little bit of rubber to it, and so does this one. That one's been fairly, the oil pan seal is fairly oil soaked. I think this oil pan has been replaced. I can see the RTV, the gasket at least. Interesting, as I mentioned already, so you got the blue bolt here. These are non-factory style. That's a grade 5 bolts, it looks like. Those are factory style. And obviously you can see the remnants of blue paint in places on this aluminum timing cover. Disregard the blue valve covers. The guy I bought the truck from that this came in, he did that. I don't know why. It was a black engine. So anyway, I'm going to pop this timing cover off and we can take a look at all the glorious slop. When I pulled off the harmonic balancer, I lined it up at 0 here. And when I popped the cap for the number 1, it is well advanced. So that's probably because the, very, very well advanced, probably because the sloppy timing chain. So with that in mind, I'm going to pop this off here. We'll take a look at that. And then I'm going to pull off the intake manifold so we can take a peek at what might be inside. I'm pretty excited. So let's check it out. Can't forget the 2 on the bottom for the oil pan. Look, this thing is filthy. All right. See if we can't gently get this thing coming off of here. There we go. Should come out of here. Oof. Man, I get the dirtiest engines. That's why it sucks taking them apart, but wow, can you say ½ an inch? Man, even on the tension side, it's floppy. That thing is bad. I'll get you in closer. Look at that. Both sides. And I had twisted it around. Yeah, it's definitely, the cover's been off before. I can see where they RTV'd the keyway. Yeah, I don't know why this was off. But it was at some point. But why would you... Maybe it was off long enough ago they replaced this chain and it's already bad again. Terrible. It's okay. Got a brand new cloyas to go on there. And we'll clean all this up real good. So now let's pop off this intake manifold. Alright. I can't get this one with the distributor. So let me get my 9/16. This is going to be gross down inside of here. You know it. You know it. She's sealed up tight. Let's see what we got behind door number 1. Let's take a look. This isn't as bad in here as I thought it was going to be. A lot of crap. Chunks. I don't know what that's a chunk of. Metal. Huh. Cast metal. Set that right there. Well, let's take a look. Get you in here. See what I'm seeing. There you have it, folks. These appear to be roller lifters from the factory. Yes, now you can really see all the grime down in here. And this is the little metal chunk that was laying right there. And cork gaskets seem to have held. Yeah, we're going to pop these heads off of here, but that's pretty cool, man. Roller rockers in the factory form. There's another chunk of metal. That does also appear to be casting. I see it's threaded as well, so that's a little frightening. Partially threaded. What did that come from? Well, we'll look all through here, and I'm going to clean this up really good. Man, this does not need to turn into a oh, look at that. There's a hole right there in the galley. Can you see that? Let me get a flashlight for you. Check that out. Literally a hole in the casting. And I wonder if one of these came out of that hole. That's cool. I've never seen that right above the camshaft. Oh, wait. We got another one back here. No, what is that? Is that where it's broken off from? Nope, that's just overcast. Pretty cool. Never seen this before. Taking apart an LA small block. Definitely never seen that before, but I've never seen this factory roller. Look at that on the cam. Can't catch your finger on it, but it sure got a line on there. Boy, this thing is dirty. Okay, well, time I guess to pull the heads off of here and start cleaning. So won't bore you with any of that. So this is my first time dealing with a roller cam, and I'm going to go ahead and assume that the racing stripe down the center of the cam lobe from the roller lifters is normal. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I've never messed with one of these. So yeah, cool. This is also the first LA that I've actually taken apart with hollow push rods. I've heard tell of them and that they're supposed to be hollow to get oiling up, and the rockers looked great. Just only where they're touching metal, you know, only where they touch metal did they look good. So I don't see any provision in the rocker for that oil that comes up the tube to get out onto the rocker shaft, which is fairly dry. So I don't know if it runs underneath there or what. Nope, it wouldn't. It could run down there and it would just drip off of that. I don't think it would actually get on the shaft. So the shaft is more than likely oiled through one of these holes over here that's oversized for the bolt. Also, I believe on these, and I need to double check my math, but I always thought the notch on the tube, the rocker tube, went forward. This one was pointing backwards. So I guess, you know, if you flipped the head around. So I'm going to just put it back the way it was. I could be wrong on that. I've heard people say, oh, the notch always goes forward. Well, not in this case. And a lot of these heads are stamped 360 somewhere. This is not. This has got like a 48 or a 148. Doesn't matter. These are going to come off. Got a new set coming. Hopefully tomorrow morning. So that's going to do it for this episode. I really don't know how long this is going to be at this point. I've just kept going and going. But I'm going to shift gears because I'm going to go get those new heads tomorrow. I'm going to start cleaning all of this junk up. Get the timing chain, all that junk going. Yeah, a lot to do, a lot of cleaning. But that being said, I also need to get back on this old girl too. Tidy up some things. You know, there's quite a laundry list to do over here. So I think that's what I'm going to step into while I'm waiting on some of this stuff and getting it all cleaned up. I kind of dance between both projects. I didn't expect this one to be this big. I kind of thought I'm just going to toss the engine in. Never works that way for me, folks. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Hey, please like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. And we'll see you next time on Rotten Rust Garage. Thanks.